I mean, don't get it twisted. To get Kyler Murray this year, you're gonna have to spend some capital. Like you're gonna have to take a quarterback in the fifth or sixth round, seventh round, maybe. So
What's up, Fackers? We are back with our Fantasy and Chill 101, counting down the top 101 fantasy football players for the 2020 season. Number 44 on the countdown is quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. He is our third ranked quarterback. Last year, he finished as QB number 7 in his rookie year. So, some of his stats, he threw for 3,722 yards with 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, had 93 carries for 544 yards and 4 touchdowns. He scored 292.28 fantasy points, an average of 18.3 points per game. So I did mention last year was his rookie year. So he'll be in year 2 in that high octane offense. He's got Cliff there calling the plays. You would expect that everything on the offense would just run a little smoother this year, be a little better. We know he got his stud receiver this year in DeAndre Hopkins from the Houston Texans. So Hopkins will be by far the number one on that team now to add to Christian Kirk and Fitz, along with Kenyon Drake out of the backfield who catches some passes. And the main thing with Kyler, why he is so high, we know we love it in our fantasy quarterbacks, is that rushing floor. And besides Lamar, he might be the second best in the league at his rushing ability. So just to throw that in there, you're talking about, I mean, just an average, probably an extra 5 points a game at least just from rushing the ball.
I think
I
he was number
mean, yeah.
3 last year in rushing attempts, which I guess you kind of expect him to do that again this year. I don't.
Who was number two?
So I'm trying to. I don't remember. Was it Deshaun?
It was Deshaun.
I think so.
And
He
Lamar, obviously number
had
1.
he
Lamar's
had
number one.
82. It had
It
to have
might have
been
been
Josh Allen then.
Dak
Uh,
Prescott.
I think it was. I think it was Josh Allen, maybe.
Josh Allen had 109.
Yeah. But anyways, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I mean, look, he got Hopkins, he's got weapons, and the thing that lights up my eyes is the freaking rushing attempts and the yards. Like, that's what you want on a better offense in year 2 with, like Keller said, Cliff Kingsbury. And you have Hopkins now, you have Christian Kirk, you have Larry Fitzgerald, your little dump off there. I mean, Kenyon Drake was a monster last year, too. That's only going to help Kyler Murray. I mean, I like Kyler Murray a lot this season. I mean, it's tough, though, for me. Like, in the past, my strategy has always been to like wait on a quarterback, I guess, or that's what I've kind of started developing into, like Keller did last year, got Lamar Jackson, and like, but it's going to be tough this year because I feel like there's those 4 or 5 quarterbacks who are so far above everyone else, and everyone like past 6 basically is just a crapshoot.
Yeah, we talked about it with Dak Prescott too. I think I'll just mention it again, just in case this is the first video you're watching. But you're gonna have Lamar and Patrick Mahomes go 1-2 off the board, and then you're gonna have this middle ground where you see Kyler, Dak, Russell Wilson, Deshaun go. And after that, you're not going to really be able to find this rushing floor from a quarterback unless it's going to be Josh Allen a couple rounds later, or if you believe in Daniel Jones. So if you want one of these rushing quarterbacks, you're going to have to take one in, the fifth, sixth, seventh round. I know, Ryan, I think you're pretty high on Kyler this year, right?
Yeah, we talked about that little grouping of, Deshaun, Dak, Russell Wilson, but I do have Kyler. We did them a couple of weeks ago, so I do have Kyler a little bit above them. I think there is a separation there and just how much better he'll be in year 2 in that offense. And he only scored, say only, but 24 touchdowns combined passing and
Oh,
rushing. I
yeah.
expect that to go up next year. So, yeah,
20,
I
20
expect
passing touchdowns, that's
I
not a lot
expect
for
a
him at all.
huge, huge year from Kyler. It would
Yeah.
not, would it be the most surprising thing if he was up there in the same realm as Mahomes and Lamar this year?
Yeah, I think that's quite a big leap for
Yeah,
Kyler.
I don't
Like
know
you're
if I.
talking, I mean, even Lamar is just on another level as far as running, and then Mahomes is on another level as far as passing goes. Now, the thing, yeah, exactly what you are talking about. Kyler has got to throw more touchdowns this year. His rushing can stay about the same, but to get value out of him, he's going to have to throw at least 30 touchdowns and keep the picks in the single digits. I feel like to get value out of him, where he's going right now, Because like right around him, even going, I think 3 picks later, is Russell Wilson, who threw for 31 touchdowns last year, threw for 4,000 yards, only 5 picks. And the rushing floor wasn't there, but he still had over 340 yards rushing. So
Yeah, there's some things that scare me a little bit with him though, because when we're talking about Arizona, and Ryan mentioned like, oh, it's a high powered offense, but would y'all be surprised if I said they were like 18th in the league last year in pass attempts?
yeah,
But I'm saying that I expect the offense to click a lot more this year. We know last year they started to turn it on the end of the season, but yeah, beginning of the season it was not near as what you expected. In fact, they were the national shows, that everybody
Yeah,
watches,
yeah.
and NFL Network, all that. We're kind of roasting the Cardinals and Cliff for being so like conservative in his play calling at the beginning of the year.
true.
So, but second half of the season, once they kind of got Drake going, they really turned it up, and I expect that to continue and even be better this year.
And they do have a somewhat tough schedule. They're in a tough division with I mean, you got to play the 49ers twice, the Rams, and then,
It might be the best division in football.
yeah, Seattle. I mean, that is a sort of tough division. And I don't know. I'm like Keller. I like Murray a lot. I mean, he's only 22. He is a little short, but the dude's got some wheels.
Drew
He's five
Brees.
foot ten. No. Drew Brees is 5'11". Okay.
I'm looking at his last half of the season though, and that even scares me more. At 4 out of the 6 games, he threw for under 200 yards.
Yeah, which is what I think for him to take the next level or the next step. I'm being is he's going to have to throw the ball better.
I think he would.
65% is not terrible on the season though. Completion.
He was also the most sacks quarterback last year. And I think he came out and said like a lot of it was his fault. Their O line's not great, but I think he did hold onto the ball a little longer than he should have. And DeAndre Hopkins probably might, he could solve that issue because you can just literally throw it up to him, and most of the time he's going to come down with it. So that should help him out.
There's a big difference when you're panicking and scrambling, and you're looking at Christian Kirk or you're
Or
looking
Larry.
at DeAndre Hopkins. Like, okay, I feel fine throwing the ball now.
Yeah.
with
Christian
Hopkins.
Kirk's not the
I agree.
biggest receiver out there, and yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is kind of that Larry Fitzgerald, back in his prime, possession receiver. So that could help him out quite a bit. And he didn't really look at the tight ends that much last year. Like their tight ends were irrelevant almost. Like you would never ever start him. But maybe DeAndre can take that tight end role, I guess. I don't know.
And another thing too, like I mean, I always thought he had the risk of being injured, and he played all 16 games, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he seemed pretty durable. So, because I mean, don't get it twisted. To get Kyler Murray this year, you're gonna have to spend some capital. Like, you're gonna have to take a quarterback in the 5th or 6th round, 7th round, maybe. So,
What's his ADP? I know where I have him ranked, which is higher than most people, but what's his ADP?
54, I saw.
Which
is right.
Round, right around those other three guys.
Yeah, and like I said in the Dak Prescott video, I wouldn't pay too much attention about ADP because whenever that first quarterback goes, whether it's Russell, Dak, Kyler, or Deshaun, all those next 3 are going to go within 1 round, I'm guessing. So one or 2 rounds. So it really just depends on how you have them ranked.
yeah, as far as the rankings go, this is Fantasy Pros. Dak is ranked 59. He's going at 48. And then Kyler is ranked 63, going at 58. Russell Wilson's going 61 in ADP. And then Deshaun Watson's at 59. So literally 59, 58, and 61. You have Kyler, Russell, and Deshaun. And then Dak going ahead of all 3 of them. I really don't agree with that, but that might just be some Cowboys fans biased.
Let's do our own consensus ranking, or just get y'all's rankings in general. I think we did in the Dak Prescott video too, but we'll do it again here. So how do y'all rank those 4?
I mean, you already know mine.
Yeah.
We've done my rankings, but it's Kyler, Deshaun, Dak, Wilson.
See, I think I would almost, man, the safest pick is Russell, okay? He's been so consistent, over 30 touchdowns the last 3 years. I think I would almost go Russell, Kyler, Deshaun, and then Dak.
As Matt knows, safe doesn't win fantasy football championships.
I don't know. I mean, I've won championships before. We're not going to go through this again, but
I see your name on the trophy.
I mean, to be fair, you had the number 1 quarterback last year, Keller, by far, and you didn't win. So,
Boom.
Not because
I
I
got
was
you, Matt.
safe. Not because I was safe. I took chances. I traded for DeAndre Hopkins. I took a chance.
Who was the quarterback you took before Lamar Jackson?
Breeze.
That's pretty safe, huh?
And then I traded him once Lamar panned out. He there?
Speaking of Lamar Jackson, did y'all know Britt drafted Chris Godwin last year?
See, that one didn't work as well, Matt.
That was the
No,
point,
but
though.
you see, like I tied it into something when I say Chris Godwin.
We're not going to go through
Keller
this
just
again.
throws it out there when he wants.
All right,
to
let me
say
give my
Lamar
rankings real quick. I think I'd go Russell number 1,
Thank
and
you.
then Dak and Kyler are kind of like a 2A, 2B for me, and then Deshaun's last.
Texan hater. Hater
for who?
Texans.
Oh,
You're a
well,
Texan hater now.
No, it's no. If or I saw this report. Someone mentioned in our league too that Antonio Brown was talking about signing with the Texans.
yeah, if they get to Antonio Brown, I boost up Watson, but
Yeah, I think Watson moves to the top.
Is he gonna play one game?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Ryan. 9-7. All right, finish off Kyler. We've gone long enough.
All right, Kyler Murray. He is our 3rd ranked quarterback, number 44 overall. We out.
Yeah.
Later.